The views and opinions expressed by contributors on the Spoon River Gothic podcast are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the host. Material heard on the Spoon River Gothic podcast is intended for adult listeners. This podcast deals with mature topics that may not be suitable for all listeners. Listener discretion is advised. This is Spoon River Gothic, narrative of a double homicide.
I don't mind.
Okay, great. I got to wake and bake.
Okay. So, yeah, I think we're on record now. I think. Yeah, so, Callie, Kurtz, I just need to put it on the recording. It's okay if I record this, right? How you doing today?
I am kind of nervous, but excited at the same time.
Oh, okay. Why are you nervous?
Because a lot of it is right across the street from me currently.
A lot of what?
Fulton County drama.
Oh, what do you live across the street from?
I like to call it the Methplex.
Oh,
yeah. It's a triplex on West Pine that is, since I have lived here over the last 3 years, my husband's lived here for the last 9 now, it has been a drug house.
Oh, okay.
And it is continuously the same people, the same families, the same circle.
Okay.
And if you trace this circle, this is how I screwed up, I think. If you trace this circle all the way back, it goes, I can trace it back to 1996 at least. And there were some deaths in and around this area that happened over the course of this time that also are connected to the people who come and go from the place across the street.
Oh, okay. So you're from Canton?
No.
You're not. When did you move to Canton?
I moved to Canton in 2021.
Oh, okay.
So I am a fresh bird over here.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
And I came over here not knowing any of it. Nothing, like, no clue what Spoon River Gothic was. No clue about the Donald Bull murder or, So I was working through my own things and I opened a pantry on the side of my house. And over the course of this time, a lot of the neighbors across the street and their circles started coming around here, and I just opened up my ears and started listening.
Okay.
My porch should be called confessional of what there's. I'd actually begged the police to put audio surveillance there, and as many times as I had called them or requested the help, they would not help me. So when I started digging and, listening and trying to help, I noticed that there was no help.
So who are you trying to help and why?
Okay, long story short is I am a recovering addict.
Mm-hmm. Good for you.
Methamphetamines was not my game.
Okay.
It was my ex's. I was more of a heroin addict.
Okay.
I was an addict for almost 7 years. I am 12 years clean. I've been down the dark road, been to prison, trying to do better. Did better before, but now I'm in my 40s trying to do it. So I just like helping people that don't know what they're doing yet. Like, haven't quite figured it out. Because neither have I, but at the same time, please don't be 46 years old going, what in hell am I doing with my life? So I try to just kind of tell them my story and where I've been and help guide them along the way. Of course, because we live in a 4,000 square foot house and we have a lot of empty bedrooms, that means, yes, sometimes I do let them move in with me. So, I currently have 3 recovering addicts living with us now, along with me, my husband, and my stepson, we're all adults, we're all over the age of 21 in the house. But it's just kind of our way of utilizing this big space we have to help other people, because not everybody has a dime to their name or has the support they need to move forward or get over the hurdle. So I dropped myself right in the middle of, oops, I did it.
Well, I applaud you for caring about people and doing all that. That is definitely takes a lot of courage to do that.
Yeah, especially since I've almost been ran over in my driveway, and my life has been threatened many, 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 many times.
So is your husband from Canton?
No.
Oh, okay.
He's from Iowa.
Oh, okay. So you guys moved there at the same time?
No, actually, believe it or not, we had been following each other around all of our lives, not knowing each other.
Oh, interesting.
And it's to the fact that when I got released from prison this last time, I actually lived in the same apartment that he did, in the same town he did, 20 years prior.
Small world.
It did really small. So, he's actually from Iowa. His late wife passed away in 2020 from lung cancer, and we met and we got along really well. And next thing you know, I never left the house. So, I mean, it took us a while to get there, but it became my big porch on the corner of Pine. So we've lived here together for the last 3, and me being me and pointing out things, I'm showing him a different side of Canton that he did not know exists.
Okay. So,
also the house is for sale.
Oh, are you going to move?
We're thinking about it.
Okay. Do you own the house?
Yes, we do. And it's a huge 2-story, 5-bedroom, 3-bath. I call it the McMansion. It's not the biggest house, but it's got some history too. It was built.
It sounds like it. I love history. I do a history podcast.
So you love this house.
Yeah. So when was it built? I digress. Oh, okay. So you're going to move out of Canton?
We keep saying it, but we haven't gone anywhere.
Okay.
And I don't think I could leave all the people I'm helping right now. So.
Okay.
But we definitely need a smaller space.
Yeah. So why did you reach out to us?
Because I thought that maybe if you knew about one, you'd like to know about them all. Okay.
I don't know everything that you've discussed. I swoop in and do interviews for them. That's my specialty as a freelancer. I interview people. And
this is what I've discovered.
Okay.
I discovered through the Donald Bull case that there was a case that involved James Maddox.
Okay.
And I went through the background and did all like the criminal research is what I like to call it, as far as the cases and whatnot. And then I started connecting people together. And if I had a big map on a wall, I could just put push pins in and go, this one goes to this one goes to this one. I can lay it all out, how all of it goes back to Donald Bull and how it's through the court systems that it is being played out the way it is. Just like there's a lot of cases in Fulton County that haven't been fully prosecuted and will never be fully prosecuted because of who they are, period. That's just the way it is. So very similar to the Donald Bull case, it's who you are and who you know in Fulton County. And it goes back to, I mean, if you really wanted to push it, you could probably push it all the way back to Abraham Lincoln.
Oh.
And the Davis family.
The Davis family?
Yes.
Who are they?
Okay, Davis. The reason I bring up the Davis family is because Chuck Davis was convicted of covering up a homicide back in 2015. and for James with James Maddox and I can't remember the other guy's name. I'd have to look in my notes. But his brother Chris is the one that tried to run me over in my driveway.
Oh.
There was a bunch of stuff going on at my house. I had found out some houses up the street were robbed. That the people who robbed it might be staying here, stashing the stuff here at my house. So I got a little bit more involved than I probably should have.
Mm-hmm.
But when I tried to stop it and called the cops, what happened was I opened up a girl's door and she had a bunch of stolen stuff in there. So I called the cops and I asked the cops, hey, can you come, take possession of this stuff? Well, there were so many burglaries that they didn't have the room, the opportunity, the time, the dedication, the desire to separate, sort, and figure out who went where, what went where. So my front porch was like the evidence locker for a week. And I had to deal with those reclaiming their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I don't know if you know anything about the law, but that's not how you do things.
Yeah, right.
So during this time, another girl came to get some of her stuff because her stuff was robbed during the course of her moving due to her neighbor's apartment being set on fire. I ended up getting a lot of her stuff here in this house because I was collecting donations and stuff, and everybody was using the guys as my donations to bring in the stolen things.
Mm.
Well, I'd figured it out, and anyways, I wasn't feeling right that day when she came over, so I started recording, and I recorded her, just gone, 17 sheets to the wind, too high for the sky. And
so you're talking about the person who had things and had the things in her room.
This is with the girl who had things in the room left. I called the cops. The cops had me sort everything out with those that they knew whose things it was because there was a name on it. So they called that person, told that person to come to my house. That person called another person, told the other person, hey, this stuff is at her house. That person called Chris Davis.
Okay.
And said, hey, all this stuff is over at this girl's house. And so is Matt Henderson. I had no idea what was going on at this point in time. Like, I'm freaking clueless. And next thing I know, there's a black truck pulling up in my driveway. 2 people getting out. Fists being thrown. People being, like, damn near shoved in my coal chute. I'm calling the police. Dude's getting back in his truck trying to leave. I'm like, oh, no, you're not going to do that here on my property. Run like a bitch. No. Sorry. Well, I didn't know it was Chris Davis. I didn't care. Well, apparently I'm supposed to be afraid of the Davis family, according to our very own fire chief. You just don't do that here. Cops came. I said I wanted to press charges. Cops told me I couldn't press charges.
Why?
Because I decided to stand in front of his truck. Which isn't... He's on my property uninvited. I didn't invite him here.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't want to... They didn't like that I know the law.
Mm-hmm.
And was willing to enforce it. And then they tried to tell me that the body cam audio said I didn't want to press charges. I'm like, the whole fucking block heard me say it.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to file a Freedom of Information for that. Because they told me I didn't say it when I know good and well I did. I asked 4 times.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
So, and then that leads back to the Davis family, right? Okay, so I pissed off the Davis family. Well, the reason the girl came here in the first place had to do with fire. I had gotten on video the girl who started the fire admitting to it. So when I called the police chief, or the fire chief, to show them that information, He told me I didn't know what I was getting myself into, and I probably needed to mind my business because the Davis family would fuck me up. So it got to the point where I was having people park in front of my house at 4:30 in the morning. I was getting calls all throughout the night. People were stalking me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was just getting to be ridiculous. I don't know if they thought I was going to be afraid, but I'm just not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have to be uncomfortable with something to be afraid, and death is not something I'm uncomfortable with. So,
okay.
And in fact, when he was trying to run me over, I told him, I said, I've already made peace with myself. What about you?
So, okay, so the Davis family, are they connected in any way to the Bull?
Yes, in fact.
How are they related?
If you go back to the Bulls, the Matsons, there's also a murder that happened in Carthage.
Okay.
That was Laura, I believe, Monson, which is McDonough County, but it has to do with Fulton County as well, because those families are related.
Okay.
And if you go back to the Bull family and can I pull up a screenshot real quick?
Sure.
Okay. It's in my photos. Hold on. I just don't want to give you wrong information. Okay, it's the Ramsey case in Carthage. That also coincides with that family. Let me see.
Okay.
Okay, it's the Ramsey family, the Ramsey case that coincides with the Bull case.
Okay.
From McDonough County with Kim Haste. And Kim Haste's kids that were involved in that case are actually children that live now, adopted and renamed, in Fulton County. So that goes all the way back to the Bull family.
Yeah.
How I've put it all together.
Yeah, it's a lot of moving parts and it's a lot to unpack, and I'm not familiar with all the names, and
I wasn't either, and I just kind of just kept looking and reading and looking and reading. I'm like, how? So I mean, I can definitely put it all down on paper for you, but it goes from, it's not just the Bull case, it's not just Fulton County. I can trace it from at least California, and it is since the late 90s. It's been the drug trade that has motivated most of these.
Okay, so,
but they're not discussed around here.
Okay.
How do you get 5 years for an accessory? How do you get picked up multiple times?
Who are we referring to right now?
Like the Davis family. Like, I don't, and I mean that's in connection with the Bull family too. So how far back does it go? Is my question.
Yeah.
And can you, being a history buff, as you say, I'm kind of curious as well, because I could sit there for hours and put this person with this person, and this person knew this person, and screenshot that. And I mean, if it wasn't for the internet now, I probably wouldn't have pieced most of what I have together.
Okay.
And like I said, it's not just Fulton County. It goes from McDonough to, I mean, all the way to Southern Illinois, and it's the same families. You can trace it all the way back to the same families. Okay. And it's more than just the Bull family. Oh. I said it's more than just the Bull family, but it does stem from the Bull family. And it has been that deviant and that, I want to say, backwoods. without it being backwards, like
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
we're not Alabama. I can say that because I have family there.
Okay.
But yeah, it's if you didn't know one person was related because of name changes or adoptions or rapes, you just wouldn't put it together.
Okay. So you never met Donnie, you never met Donna, you never met Janine.
No, I've never met any of these people. I had
Okay.
just happened to fall into being nosy.
Oh, okay. So how did you connect the dots back to the Donald Bull case from the, drug trade that is going on and the families that are related to the drug trade? How did you connect it to the Donald Bull case and Donna's murder?
Because I kept noticing that things just kept being open cases or not completely closed or not solved or slap on the hand. Or had it have been me, had it been anybody else, nobody would have gotten away with what's been gotten away with in Fulton County.
Yeah. So what do you think happened to Donna?
Oh, I think she was murdered 100%.
Well, she was murdered. We know she was murdered, but do you think Donald Bull did it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you do?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I think he did. I think absolutely think he did that.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I said I absolutely think he did that night. Like I said, I wasn't here. I didn't know anything about it. I've just kind of done my research, but there's that much hiding. Why wouldn't that be hiding too? I mean, let's not bring to light what focuses on the people of Fulton County that are the prominent ones.
So you do think he did it, and do you think that he did it for the reasons that they brought out in court that he did it, or do you think that there was another
I don't
story?
Like to think of why people did it, because that puts me in a position of making a judgment.
Okay.
And I don't own a gavel. I don't like when people make a judgment against me, so I can't say what was in his head that night or what his thoughts were that day, or I mean, I can't tell you his complete mental status at any point in time, and I don't wish anybody to try to do that to me, so I just can't tell you what I would think would be going through his mind or why. Okay. I just think that it happened, and it's been repeatedly, I wouldn't say completely dismissed, but
well, he was convicted,
right? I mean, I know that, but I mean, I just don't think it was completely processed, investigated. I don't think anything is here.
Yeah.
I think it was just an easy, okay, let's go. Sorry, Sheriff. And then there's a little pissed off sheriff around.
So why do you think it wasn't completely investigated?
I just think there's more to the story. And I feel like when investigations are done, if they're done appropriately, you can get all the information that you need without all the drama, all the bullshit, all the appeals, all the trials, all the objections. I think if you just sit down and talk to the right people at the right times and don't speed through things, rush, make rash decisions, that it'll come out. That's just like with the appeal.
He died in jail.
Donald
Bull died in jail.
But that's why
so many murders, so many. That's
because there's quite a few, and they don't get processed correctly in Fulton County.
Do you think? So, are you saying that it's corruption?
For sure.
Okay, it's corruption within the police force. Is that what you're saying?
Not just the police force. It's more, and I wouldn't say it's county, like officials. I would say it's who has the money.
Okay, who has the money? Who has
I don't
the
know.
money?
I'm not from here. Definitely not me.
Well, do you think it's the Davis family? Do you think
Oh,
it's...
well, they have drug money bigger than shit.
Okay, the Bull family? Are they still players
Also,
in the...
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
There are still quite a few players from all the original families. In fact, it was passed from one generation to the next.
Okay. So you have proof of this, it sounds like?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like to talk, prove, or have somebody help me corroborate what I'm saying.
Uh-huh. Okay, you're cutting out again.
I don't know why.
Okay. Could be anything. Something probably is between your mouth and the mic of your phone.
But it's just like it. I like to make sure I have more than a rock to stand on. I like to have a whole piece of ground.
Okay.
Everything I have and everything I've documented, the police wouldn't take me seriously. Like, I have had to install cameras and new locks, and it's ridiculous. I've had to get orders of protection.
Against people?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're not afraid, obviously. I mean,
No.
to put yourself out there and stand up for what you believe.
Correct.
Okay. So why do you want to go on the record about this?
Because somebody needs to do something about it, and if it takes a book and all maybe a series of them to come out, then let me go ahead and give you what I know. Okay. I'm not going to hide it. I'd love to figure it out too.
Okay.
Because it's more than just one.
Right. You think it's all related. You think that the corruption and it's a systemic issue with not just in the police department, but also within the what do you call it? That branch of the law, the justice. Is it justice? Judicial.
Yeah, judicial. Yep. It's definitely more the judicial side. And like I said, if you look back to the Davis family, which does have everything to do with the Bull family because they're related, go back. They all go back to the Davis family with Abraham Lincoln too. Okay. And if you trace the genealogy, which I started to and went, man, that's way too close. That's got to be that family. And then kept going. And then, yep, sure enough, it is. It's that family if you trace it all the way back. So.
Right. Sounds like a pretty significant conspiracy.
It's called the Oath Keepers.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of that. The Oath Keepers. It sounds familiar, though. What are the Oath Keepers? Tell me about that.
I was introduced to them, and not like personally, just knowing the knowledge of them, back in, I'd probably say the early 2000s. And that would be because of some deaths that were taking place over in Peoria County.
Okay.
The retaliations, drugs, white supremacy.
So tell me about that. Tell me about the Aryan Nation bikers.
Chuck Davis is actually a member.
Okay.
And that is Chris Davis's brother.
How do you know that he's a member? How do you know that?
I can't. He's been a member for a very long time. I used to actually sit in a bar with him a long time ago. With him and a couple of other brothers. Used to be a bar called Gothic in Peoria.
Okay.
It's not there anymore, but once upon a time, I used to be a wholly different girl. So, yeah, I used to run around with that crowd. Didn't really pay attention. Young, drunk. Didn't really care.
Okay.
Not my cup of tea. Had kids. Decided I needed to not sit at the bar instead.
Okay.
Didn't really pay attention until I was talking to my friend, and her dad is also a member. And they're like, yep, sure is, Kelly. You okay up there? I'm great. I mean, I didn't mean to happen across the information, but I mean, again, I have screenshots that.
Yeah.
I had no idea. So, and then I didn't know until about 2 or 3 weeks ago is when I actually started listening and going, wait a second. Maybe they need some more information.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm sure that there's something weird happened. Okay.
I am weird.
No, I was hearing my voice in your. There was. I can hear
feedback.
My voice. Yeah, the feedback. I don't know why all of a sudden I'm hearing that now, but that there might be other people that are interested in talking to us.
There are. One actually lives in my house.
Okay.
But she's very, 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 very scared.
What is she scared of?
Because she's already been picked up in state times and taken to the place of death.
The place of death?
Yes. It's called the Hole.
What is that?
It is where they put people who go missing or spent too much time talking.
Who are they? Who are these people?
I don't know the names of the ones that are there now because, again, I didn't know, but I know the most recent ones. And the most recent one they took there was Mindy O'Rourke.
Who?
Mindy O'Rourke.
And is that one of the murders?
No.
Oh, a missing person?
No, she's, that's one of the people that would be willing to talk, but is afraid to because this is what they've done to her already.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
And I know for a fact it was done because I picked her up afterwards.
Oh, so you know where this place is?
There's several.
Oh, okay.
And it's called the Hole because they're just really open holes that will disintegrate your body in a heartbeat. Naturally.
Oh. How does it do that?
Hog farms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The blue stores, the big tanks.
Okay, I've heard of this, but I'm not really familiar with it.
So the big blue tanks are where all the poop goes.
Okay.
The poop will disintegrate a human body in less than 24 hours.
Oh, okay. I've never heard that before. That's interesting.
I used to work on a farm too, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So there are several from the west side of Illinois to the east side of Illinois that remain unlocked at all times.
Okay, so the Davises, are they in Canton or Fulton County?
Mm-hmm.
Are they? Okay, and they're related to the Bull family.
Mm-hmm. They're all from this area.
Okay, and
they're cousins is how I think it plays out.
Well, I think it's really interesting that you think that Donald Bull did it because that's one of the questions that Corey has been wanting to find out about is, was justice served? So
I think what happened is it brought light to some justice, and now we're going to hide a lot of the bad of Fulton County. Because, oh my God, it shined a light on it. We don't need the light shined anymore. Can you stop?
How did it shine the light on, and what specifically?
Just that there is bad in Fulton County, and regardless of how much it goes unnoticed or unmentioned or undiscussed, it still happens. It's still very active in everyday life around here.
Why do you think that is?
because it's corruption all the way down to the soil.
So who would you say is in cahoots? Like, you know,
I wish I knew. I really did. I wish I could figure it out. I mean, I recently just started putting all this together. I don't have like all the knowledge and years of who did this and who did that, but
okay.
Like I said, they're not buried. They're in a tank.
Oh, so they've disintegrated.
That's why they put them in the hole.
Okay, and which bodies specifically are we talking about?
There's two of people that are missing. In Fulton County.
Okay.
And I also sent, I don't remember the name because once I put 2 and 2 together, it easily came up to 4.
And why would they, like, what did they do that caused them to have such a dire consequence?
I have no idea. Probably pissed somebody off while they were high.
Okay.
That's pretty much how it is right now. That's why things are happening the way they are happening around here, is because everybody is in the water.
So why are you so willing to put your life at risk to talk about these things?
I'm gonna die one way or another. At least let me go out with a bang.
Okay.
I mean, it's inevitable, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if everybody's gonna look at me and judge me, let's let this light shine on everybody else too.
Okay.
I mean, the world is not innocent.
Right.
So, I mean, if we're gonna say let's do right with one, let's do right with everybody.
Okay.
Let's not do this whole she said, he said bullshit, or
right.
I'm gonna cover up for you because I have more money than you. Let's just use the system the way it's intended to be used.
You know, there's a meth trafficking, there's a meth house across the street from you. The Davis family is somehow involved. They're related to Donald Bull. You think Donald Bull did it. And that case shined a light on the corruption in the system there and the issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess do you have an example?
I could probably pull a lot of footage for you from the cameras and send you quite a bit.
Okay.
Like I said, we ended up putting cameras and audio out on the porch. So a lot of what I can tell you generally is recorded it's recorded because somebody else had said it.
Okay. So give me an example and then send me the footage.
Like Shelley Wheeler, who is one of the adopted children from one of the other cases, is actually biologically related to the Davis family.
Okay.
She lived here in my house. She is the one I had to get an order of protection against. She is the one that told me who the bodies were on the video and where they are. She didn't say which hole, I don't believe, because there's so many to choose from. But she also was the one telling the Davis family things about my family that nobody else would have known or had any easy way of knowing. Yeah, I have a lot of her and Mindy and another girl named Mindy talking on my porch.
Okay.
My porch is confessional.
That's interesting. Do people know that they're recorded?
Oh yeah, it says audio and video recording on my porch.
Okay.
Because I had the pantry there.
Okay. But you don't have the pantry anymore?
Actually, I threw it all the way in a tantrum last week. I have most of the stuff, but I may have thrown a tantrum last weekend.
So it's a food pantry? Is that what it is?
Well, it started out as food, but now it's in everything.
Oh, okay.
I have things in my garage like clothes. People, some things that normally would like go to Goodwill or thrift stores instead of doing that where people make profits off of it, we just recycle it through the community.
Oh, okay. And so how do people, is there a name for your pantry?
LF Pop, Little Free Pantry on Pine. So yeah, it's all community driven. The only thing that it is costing me is my sanity. I mean, my regular bills.
Your what?
My sanity. I mean, my regular bills.
Oh, okay. So how do you sustain yourself? Do you work or?
I'm actually on my second application for disability.
Okay.
They're reconsidering my medical, which is a good thing because I can't feel my hands right now.
Oh, that's horrible.
The families go back to the Donald Bull family. And I think if they're all still sitting in the same situations or spaces that they were, then it's still going to continue. We're still going to try to hide things, and things aren't.
So what do you think about Donna? What do you think about her story and like who she was?
I think there's more to it than what is out there. I just have this feeling of we want things to look good, but let's not talk about things.
So give me an example of with regards to Donna specifically. What do you think there's more that we're not seeing, or that
I think there's more to her personal life, to where she was, what she was doing. I think that not everybody is aware, because I can tell you right now, not everybody's aware of what I do.
Yeah.
And I'm a pretty open, honest person. So I just think that there may have been a few secrets that she didn't share that may have presented this happening to her.
Right.
I think she might have been a little bit more of a risk taker than she wanted to admit, or anybody else wants to admit, because I am. And I think in order to put yourself in any position like that would be considered risky, no matter where you lived and what year.
Do you think that her death was related to the corruption in Canton?
I don't think it was related to. I think it was a product of.
Okay.
The Ramsey case was also sentenced to death, and it was revoked with the governor's revocation. So it happened all at the same time.
And what happened with Ramsey then?
I don't know.
What was Ramsey convicted of?
Oops, sorry. Sorry, hold on just a second. I think he was convicted of murdering. I know he was convicted of murdering Laura, I believe, Monson, and then another girl. Can't think of her name right now. I'd have to go look on the thing, but yeah, he was convicted of murdering 2 people and then attempted murder of 2 children. And it was also pulled back. His death penalty was.
So, but he didn't die in prison.
I'm not sure what his status is right off the top of my head. I don't know if he's
I don't know either.
Or but that also happened at the same time.
Do you think he did it?
Oh yeah, I'm absolutely certain that man did it.
What makes you so sure?
He admitted it.
Oh, okay, he did.
Yeah, he's admitted it. He tried to make it a little bit lighter than what he actually did, but it was pretty brutal. Another one of those things that, and then the children who actually survived that were adopted into a family in Canton.
Okay, and the murder happened in Canton?
No, the murder happened in McDonough County, Carthage.
So, okay. So he was a part of that statewide, I can't think of the name of it, when they basically let everybody off death row.
Yes. But the children from that case were adopted into a family in Canton.
So what happened to the children? What was... It was attempted murder of the children?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were given to their biological father, who fucked shit up and had known through court cases people in high places.
What do you mean he fucked shit up?
He was a heroin addict. Got in trouble with the law a lot. Just couldn't take care of the kids.
And then what happened to the kids?
They were adopted.
Oh, okay. But were they part of this case of the guy who was convicted of murder and attempted murder?
Yes.
Who did he murder then? And were they was that person related to the kids?
So Laura Monson, she was a 16-year-old girl.
Okay.
And then another girl from, like, I think it's Iowa, right there in Iowa. He went to, like, 2 different cities, 2 different towns to murder.
And he tried to kill those 2 kids as well?
Correct. And,
who were in the care of their father at the time?
No, they were in the care of their mother. But the mother died, I believe. And the father got him. Yeah, it was the mother that died. And then the father got him. And then the father moved back to Chicago and had people in high places up there who adopted him. And those kids ended up coming back here.
Okay, so they're in Canton.
Yes. And a part, of that circle.
How did he murder the 16-year-old and the other?
I believe he choked the 16-year-old and put her in a grain bin.
And that was Laura.
After he sexually assaulted her.
Okay. So did he sexually assault the 2 children that you're saying right now?
I don't think so.
Oh.
I think that he just tried to silence them because they could identify him.
Oh, so they witnessed the murder or something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Justice is not served very well in this county at all. I mean, I can't even...
How would, in that case, justice be served?
As far as the Laura?
Yeah.
Well, I would say for the children in general. I mean, justice goes down further than more than just the person it affects. Mm-hmm. The person that... I would say the person that died, it affects more than just that person.
Yeah, sure.
So, I mean, you can get justice for that person, but you can't get justice for the children who don't even know what justice would feel like because they've never been told the truth their whole life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, mm-hmm. with all the lies and hidden stuff. I mean, and there's never really going to be justice in this town or in this area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because nobody can tell the truth.
Do you think that talking to us is going to help to change that somehow?
No.
Oh.
Okay. I wish. I mean, unless somehow this goes to like Good Morning America or like USA Today or something, real big and explosive.
Uh-huh.
It's just going to continue, sadly.
Mm.
Spoon River Gothic is a production of Lonebird Media in association with CZ Studio and Radio Verite. The show is produced by August Olson, editing, directing, and producing by Corey Zimmerman, audio mastering and engineering by E. Mastered. Research is done by Anne-Marie Cannon, Chelsea Mesa, and me, Jinra Illustrissimo. Spoon River Gothic is written and hosted by Corey Zimmerman. You can follow the show at czstudio.works and read the blog at spoonrivergothic.com. Show some love by leaving us a rating or review on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. And stay tuned for the next episode as we dive deeper into the Donald Bull case. Thank you for listening. This is Spoon River Gothic, narrative of a double homicide.